Akila Shahid, and you are watching The Wrap Up. Today I'm at Marcus Bookstore waiting on Mac Mall. His book released 2 days ago and has been flying off the shelves. Mike Epps gave it a shout out, so did Snoop Dogg. I did too. That's just as good as Mike Epps. Make sure you go and grab a copy.
Hey, what's up? One for the money, two for the show. I'm Pharaoh, and I'm always ready to go.
And he's ready to go. Read these books. If you haven't picked up your copy, do so.
But yes, I'm very proud of him and happy that he's made it to this point. I also appreciate his political and social stance for Black folks.
I have the legendary Ray Love right here in the building.
Hey, what's up with it?
I was blessed to be raised around this man.
Absolutely.
A lot of good, positive influence. He kept my standards high, but
Absolutely.
I appreciate you coming out here and supporting your brother.
No doubt. No, I mean, I had no choice. Like, to be honest with you, this was a long time coming. The book was created about 13 years ago, 12, 13 years ago.
Check back with the interview in a second. I am Akila Shahid, and I am here with Mac Mall, one of the Bay Area's legendary artists. We are talking about your book.
They're doing a book signing, so I'm very excited about that. Very excited to be in this building. Very excited to be with you. This is the book. I just dropped it 2 days ago. My opinion, you know what I mean? It's like a, memoirs of my life so far, you know what I mean, and the valleys and peaks. You know what I mean? It's my first book ever. I'm self-published, so I'm very excited about that. And this story, talks about, me and your father's life. You know what I mean? Me and your uncle's life. My early life growing up in Vallejo. You know what I mean? And getting into the hip hop game through the Mac, may rest in peace. Mac Dre, may rest in peace. You know what I mean? And I got Tupac up in there. Our adventures we had, rest in peace, Pac. I actually wrote the book after I had a tragedy in my life. One of my friends had passed, actually in my arms, and my brother Ray Love. You know what I mean? He was hurt too. He was in the accident. But, a lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff was going through my mind. And one way that helped me, one thing that was kind of like therapy for me, was to actually start writing. Because I wanted to really think about my life. What got me to this point on my back in this bed, you know what I mean, with crazy thoughts in my head. Like, what did I do? So I had to just examine my life. Started with the pen.
Do you think without the accident that you would have had a sense of clarity that you do now?
Nah.
You would have figured it out on your own?
I mean, it's just like, one way that I think about it is just like, after you get your butt whooped, don't you see life a little clearer?
Absolutely.
Straight up. And that's kind of like what that was for me. That was like a real wake-up call. It was loss, like a real close friend of mine, died in that accident. And, not being able to move either because my back, was real messed up. You know what I mean? Like Ray Love had broke vertebrae in his back, broke his hip. I had like a lot of trauma in my back. It was numb, and I wasn't like taking popping pills and stuff because I didn't like the way it made me feel.
Right.
So I'm just up there like basically I would wake up and just like could not move. I can't move nothing. Like, man, I'm just like like my muscles is tight and they doing all type of weird stuff. And not only did I have the physical pain, but I had the mental thing going on. You know what I mean? When I'm seeing my dude, I'm seeing like, man, I got what they call that post-traumatic stress. Yes, I know what that is about. I know what that is about. I know what them dudes that went to war or whatever, what they have in their head. And for me, it was weird because it wasn't no street stuff that I'm used to seeing. It was like some totally other thing. So, man, the way that I worked it out was my opinion. So it's very it's from a deep place in me. You know what I mean? For real.
Mac Mall was signed and still works with YBB Records, Young Black Brother Records. So that's my uncle's company. So really early on in the game, I literally, and you were one of the men that was in my village that helped raise me.
Yeah, man, for real. They used to run around, see us at the studio, seeing when we started. I was young. I was like, 14 years old, 15, going to the studio, Kyrie, her father like actually, you know what I mean. I had to thank him the other day for just like, blood, man, you was with a crazy 15, 16-year-old going all over the country, chasing after me. You know what I mean? And that was like, I was a full-time job at that time. So he was raising you, but he was raising me too, you know?
Yeah.
It's a real tight family thing, and, you know, just, man, the story, man, you know, I feel like it had to be told. I feel like it's our story. And if we don't tell it, you know what I mean, somebody else is going to tell it, and they're going to mess it up, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, you know, a lot of us need to tell our own story, you know what I mean? Because my piece of the story is one piece. Hers is another piece, you know what I mean? With all the pieces together, they make the whole picture. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I don't know if you remembered it. We went to an ice skating rink. My
Uh-huh.
mom bought a limo.
Yeah.
And you were the star, like the guest.
Yeah.
At my birthday party. One of my really good friends, rest in peace, Herschel Turner, actually met you. And from that day forward, he began writing.
Oh, word up.
He
word
began
up.
rapping, and until he passed, he does have a lot of material,
Uh-huh.
but you inspired him. Do you ever look at yourself as an inspiration?
This man, the Bay Area, has a serious rap history.
I appreciate that. So he's got it all, you know, he's
Whole
got
package.
it all, whole package. So.
I mean, you know, people come up to me and they talk to me, you know what I mean, about, you know how my music helped them and stuff, and that's a blessing, you know what I mean, because I was influenced by, you know, Tupac, Mac Dre, and cats like that. So for me to be able to do that to another youngster is a beautiful thing.
Get ourselves together.
I remember coming up in here, you know what I mean, and getting a book and reading it, and just like, man, it's changing my life, you know what I mean? Because when I started coming here is when I started getting like knowledge of self, man, of who I was as a black man, you feel me? So I would come up in here and like just eat it up, and all that came from like Public Enemy, you know what I mean, and the Mac, you know what I mean, and stuff like that had me thinking about, man, hold up, man, I'm just not what I see outside my window and all that messed up stuff, craziness, you know what I mean? We come from somewhere, and when I did that, I came here grabbing these books. So to think that somebody one day is gonna come in here and grab my book is a dope thing, you know what I mean?
One of my big issues, so I won't tell too much because I don't want to tell
Yeah.
the story, but basically, that accident, did it change and help influence your view maybe of women in a,
Yeah, it did.
how is your view now, or your,
I mean, it did because it made me slow down as a person, you know what I mean? Because I was living like, I think about times when I was young and around that time, like I was like conceited, big-headed, and just, and I think the thing was, is you got to understand, when I came around and when I started my career, I was 14, 15 years old in a career of people that are 30s, 35, late 20s, you know what I mean? So the way that I you know, tried to get up to their level was I'd be over-aggressive. And I would be loud, and I would be, man, if you want to give me my way right now, I ain't even listening to you. And that's how I kind of went about my life at that time. You feel me? So it took a kick in the butt, you know what I mean, to really, you know, but even before that, you know what I mean, I was like, you know, I was like changing as a person anyway, you know what I mean? But that was just like, okay, you changing, you doing your thing, you better get it together.
Right now.
You feel me? It was one of those type of things, you know what I mean? And I mean, man, you know, in this book, I didn't pull no punches. I wasn't like, you know, I'm, you know, just, I won every fight and I did everything right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nah, because that's not testimony. I gave it to you where I was, man, grimy. You know what I mean? Sometimes, you feel me? Because that's how life is. You feel me? Some other people gonna sugarcoat it, but man, you know, I put it in the book so you would see the change. Look where I was. Look how I'm at, where I'm at right now.
and look where you're
Going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Straight up, man. My opinion, man. In stores. You feel me?
Go get it. I've read it
Yes,
two
yes.
times so far.
Hello.
That's not it. My son is 6. I don't know. We might 13, 14.
Yeah,
when he hits
see?
those ages.
Right?
He will be
I
reading
mean, man,
this.
I'm telling you.
It's a must. This is the bestseller to me right now. So
Thank you so much.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
You have been watching the wrap up. I have Mac Mall with me. Go
Wrap Up.
out and get it.
Yes, yes.
Let me know where I can buy this besides Marcus Bookstore.
Oh, you can get it at www.rapbay.com. You can get it at www.amazon.com, and you can also get it at www.createspace.com.
All right. You watching the wrap up?
Hello.
Thank you.